Let's have our review, Tutor Jules, of our
Okay,
week
let us
number
review
six.
of week number 6. Okay, you have learned about geologic time scale. It is the calendar of events in Earth's history. And you have understood how relative and absolute dating were used to determine the subdivisions of geologic time or geologic timeline. And based from the geologic timeline scale, eon is the largest subdivision. And that eons are subdivided into era. And eras are subdivided into period. And periods are subdivided into epoch. Epoch is the smallest division
Smallest.
of the time.
We also learned about the different geologic processes, no ma'am, and the different
Yes,
hazards. So nag-start tayo mag-discuss ng mga hazards, particularly
the earthquake hazards. Under earthquake hazards, meron tayong surface faulting, landslide, ground shaking, liquefaction, and tsunami.
and
Under volcanic eruption hazards, na-discuss ang tephra, pyroclastic flow, lahar and flood, lava domes, and poisonous gases.
okay. So for this week, no ma'am, week number 7 na tayo. We'll be continuing to discuss more of the hazards. And as we have mentioned last week, kumbaga, this is start of our kumbaga, awareness, preparation sa mga hazards na ito. And what are our most essential learning competencies, ma'am?
Okay, objectives for this week based from the melt using hazard maps, identify areas prone to hazard brought about by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and landslide, and identify human activities that speed up or trigger landslide.
Alright. So for this week, gagamit tayo ng maps for mga mapa. And ang focus kasi natin would be about the three hazards. No, Ma'am Jules, we have earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and landslides. Pero kung titingnan kasi natin yung buong course ng Earth and Life Science, no, as a core subject sa senior high school, meron pa tayong mga hazards like flooding, meron diyang mga tsunami. But for this week, ang focus lang natin is yung tatlo. And plus, we'll be discussing as well the different human activities that speed up or trigger the landslide. Thank you, Tutor Jules. So I think we are now ready for our discussion. So kapag may question lang, so feel free lang to comment. Ayan, tapos lagay yung name, tsaka yung mga name ng school ninyo. And mamaya, si Tutor Jules babati siya for our quick shout out. So let's start. So first melt natin is we'll be discussing about how to use hazard maps to identify hazard prone areas. So as you can see on our screen right now, so this is just one of the hazard maps na pwede nyong ma-encounter, pwede yan sa mga reference books natin, or pinaka-accessible siguro sa inyo right now would be sa websites, no, sa mga cellphones natin. So this is one of the hazard maps provided by Hazard Hunter PH. Mamaya, di-discuss natin yan. So bakit nga ba prone ang ating bansa sa mga different hazards and natural disasters? So I think na-mention na rin to last week, no? So balikan lang din natin. So number one reason would be our geographic location. So bakit geographic location? So konting trivia lang, Tutor Jules, no? So before kasi nung nag-aaral tayo dati daw 7,100 plus islands lang. But because of modern technology, no, isa sa mga government agency natin dito sa Pilipinas, we're able to determine that the exact number of islands ng Pilipinas natin na kapag tinanong yan ng mga pwedeng social studies teacher ninyo, ang dapat isagot ninyo, ilang islands? 7,641 islands. And speaking of geographic location, bakit nga ba tayo prone sa mga hazards? Of course, the country is in a unique location. So unique kasi dalawang location po yan. We rest in the Pacific Typhoon Belt. Again, that's the first, no, Pacific Typhoon Belt. So as the name suggests, kaya nga tayo laging dinadaanan ng mga bagyo. On an average, mga 20 plus na typhoons tayo every year. Plus, another would be we are also resting or located sa tinatawag na Pacific Earthquake and Volcano Ring of Fire. Anong grade 10 kayo? That is, in short, the Ring of Fire. So ring, para talaga siyang ring, no? So sa Pacific Ocean, outlining the different parts ng Asia, tapos kasama of course yung North America at saka South America. And it is the Ring of Fire is said to be the home to over 75% of the world's active and dormant volcanoes. So those are the reasons bakit tayo kailangan mas aware and mas prepared, di ba, Tutor Jules, sa mga ganitong klase ng hazard. So again, that's Pacific Typhoon Belt and the Ring of Fire. And we are now ready to define some terms lang. So may encounter natin itong mga terms as we go or proceed with our discussion for this afternoon. The first part or the first term or phrase is what we call the geologic process. I think na-discuss ko to sa inyo last week, balikan lang natin. No? So when we say geologic process, these are the natural forces that shape the physical makeup of a planet. So nandiyan yung mga diniscuss natin in the previous weeks, like erosion, weathering, paggalaw ng mga plates natin. And these processes, lahat ng mga processing ito nangyayari sa crust. From time to time, it poses continuous source of hazards sa ating mga tao, sa ating mga communities, and of course, in generally sa mga societies natin. The next term would be, of course, hazards. So, ano ba yung hazard? Last week, sabi natin, kakabit na yung word na danger. So, technically, it is defined as a phenomenon caused by natural, so pwede siyang natural or man-made, so natural or human forces, which poses threat to humans, hindi lang sa ating mga tao, kasama dyan yung mga other living things, pwedeng animals, yung mga vegetations natin, the plants are also affected, plus mga ininvest natin na properties, and of course, generally, the environment. So again, hazard, tandaan senior high school learners, it can be natural, so kumbaga part siya ng cycle ng ating planeta, or it can be anthropogenic. Remember the term, anthropogenic. So it refers to the man-made activities na nagko-cause or nag-trigger ng different kinds of hazard. And then finally, ayan, ang pinaka main topic natin for this afternoon would be about hazard map or yung mga mapa. So I'm sure nagamit nila Shooter Jules yung mga mapa na yan sa kanilang araling panlipunan. So ayan, bukod sa science, alam niyo ba na favorite subject ko rin ang social studies. Kaya nung grade 7 ako, nung first year, Ma'am Jules, 'di ba? Yung Philippine history yan, 'di ba? So ang inaaral po natin yan, Philippine map talaga, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. So favorite na subject yan ni Sir Tony. So when we say hazard map, it is a map that illustrates the areas that are exposed, really exposed siya, or pwede siyang prone to a particular hazard. So mamaya, iba't ibang klase ng hazard map ang titingnan natin. So pwede yan landslide, flooding, volcanic eruptions, or pwede rin tsunami. So it is also used to mitigate, para makapag-prepare tayo, to mitigate ano ba yung pwedeng gawin nating mga tao as individuals or as a scientific community para paghandaan yung mga ganitong klase ng sakuna or mga hazards. So again, geologic process, hazard, and hazard map. So I hope you're all doing great. No, so we are now on week number 7. You're watching Senior High School Earth and Life Science with Shooter Tony and Shooter Jules. So in the Philippines, government agencies and private research institutions create hazard maps. So meron talagang mga agencies, institutions na naka-designate to create such examples of maps. So first, of course, narinig nyo palagi yan sa news, no? The PHIVOLCS, which stands for the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. So, minomonitor nila yung mga volcanic eruptions, mga earthquakes. Ayan. Next would be, of course, our Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR, particularly our MGB, or the Mines and Geosciences Bureau. Ayan. So, we're talking about geoscience. So, mamaya may konting information about geoscience. And of course, yung mga maps natin na gagamitin later on are uh, kinuha or sinorse natin yan from the maps provided by the National Mapping and Resource Information Authority, or in short, that is NAMRIA. So these are the government agencies. Plus, we'll be using also the maps provided by the Manila Observatory, which is run by the Ateneo de Manila University. And of course, you can take a screenshot of this, no? May link tayo dito, Tutor Jules. So may study kasi. So ang focus kasi natin this afternoon, earthquake, volcanic eruption, tsaka landslide. But if you want to read more, kasi may mga hazards pa tayo, so you can proceed to this website or link. So the title of the study is Mapping Philippine Vulnerability to Environmental Disasters. So kompleto yung mga maps dyan na provided ng mga agencies na ito. Alright, so thanks to these government agencies, we are really informed. And speaking of maps, kailan ba ang huli ninyong paghawak ng map, na physical na map? So pwede kasi yung papel na ginagamit or pinapadala ng mga teachers natin when we are still having the face-to-face classes, or pwede naman mas high-tech na tayo mga millennials, no? We also have copies or maps na available online, pwede yung mga PDF copies. And of course, ang mga mapa na yan should have different parts like the following. Of course, we have the title of the map. So, ang example natin on the right side, ayan, earthquake-prone areas. It tells you, of course, what the map is about. We also have legends and symbols. Ayan, mamaya titingnan natin yan, ano yung mga legends and symbols na ginamit sa mga hazard maps na i-examine natin isa-isa later on. And of course, the map will not be a map kung wala yung north arrow. The north arrow gives the user a sense of direction, and this can be used to properly navigate the map. I think sa mga soft ano yan, no, sa mga online maps laging may ganyan pa rin, no, yung arrow, the north arrow. And finally, ayan, very important din the scale of the map. Ayan, yung scale na natin diyan. Oops, sorry. Ayan, sa right side, mamaya, zoom natin yung mga maps natin. So we can see that the scale of the map tells us the ratio between the distance on a map and on the ground. Yung sukat, kumaga yung mga distances natin. So I think we are now ready. So ang first na stop natin would be, ayan, the top 10 provinces. So mamaya, puro top 10 na. I-enumerate natin yung mga top 10 provinces that are at risk on a particular hazard. So ang first natin would be about earthquakes. Ayan, looking at our example, so ganito ginawa ni Sir Tony, no? Ginawa namin ni Tutor Jules. On the left, you can see the top 10 provinces. Tapos on the right naman, yung map na provide sa ating mga modules at saka yung mga provide ng ating mga government agencies na minention natin kanina. Tapos, if you will also notice, ayan, sa top 10 provinces that are at risk to earthquakes, in-highlight ni Sir Tony yung Surigao del Sur, number 1. That's the top on the top spot, and number 8, Davao Oriental. Why? Kasi looking at the map, okay, zoom natin. Ayan. So the rest kasi ay nasa bandang Central Luzon or nasa Luzon part, while the top 1 at saka top 8 ay nasa located siya sa Mindanao. As you can see, ayan, 1 at saka 8. That is your Surigao del Sur and Davao Oriental. So, kaway-kaway, good afternoon sa ating mga viewers all the way from Mindanao. So, I hope you're safe, no? Dito sa Metro Manila, medyo gloomy ang weather. Pero saktong-sakto lang on a Monday. Ayan. So, bakit nga ba nasa top spots yung Surigao del Sur at saka Davao Oriental? So, this is because these provinces are at risk to hazard due to the Philippine trench. Kung maaalala ninyo, no, diniscuss ni Tutor Jules sa isa sa ating mga sessions, when we say trench, these are the deepest parts of the ocean where tectonic activities can also happen. So it could trigger earthquakes. And another would be contributing factor is yung presence ng mga active faults natin na pwedeng gumalaw anytime. All right, and then La Union and Pangasinan. La Union is number 2, and then Pangasinan is number 4. Dahil naman yan sa presence or sa location nila malapit sa Manila Trench. So again, that's Philippine Trench and the Manila Trench. The rest of the provinces provided on this map, we have Benguet, La Union, Nueva Vizcaya, Eastern Pangasinan, and Nueva Ecija, plus Tarlac, Ifugao, Pampanga. Ayan, it's due to its location along the Philippine Fault Zone. Again, this map is provided by the Manila Observatory. No? So let's take a look at another example of map. This one naman, or this time naman, yeah, as you can see, the title says, or tells us that this is an earthquake-prone area map. Okay, so earthquake-prone areas, you have the north arrow right here, the scale, of course, the legend, ay provincial boundary, just like any other maps, may mga boundaries yan ng places. And we have magnitude here and earthquake hits. So if you would recall, science 10 ninyo, magnitude refers to the amount of energy released by an earthquake. Yung mga dots na nakikita ninyo, yan, tingnan lang natin, scan lang natin yung ating napakagandang bansa. Very unique, no? Geographically, napaka-unique ng pagkaka-landscape ni God sa ating planeta. Ay sa ating, of course, sa planeta, and of course, sa ating bansa, Pilipinas. So yung mga dots na yan, the smaller the dots, or the ayan, palaki siya ng palaki. So, pataas din ng pataas yung magnitude. Whereas, for earthquake hits, ang ginamit naman na legend or indicator naman natin would be, pag sinabi natin earthquake hits, by the way, the number of times no, na in the past, recorded history, kung gaano kadalas hinihit or nagkakaroon ng mga earthquakes. So color-coded siya. The darker the color, mas ano siya, mas marami siyang recorded na mas malalakas na earthquakes. And if you would notice, nag-ano siya, bumabangga siya or uh, it agrees with our previous map kanina, 'di ba? Nandito yung mga earthquake prone areas, our top 10 nandiyan, kaya napaka-dark ng color diyan. And of course, nasa side, ayan, kapitbahay nila ang Pacific Ocean, kaya they are experiencing earthquakes, ayan. And nandito of course yung ating kaninang dalawang Mindanao provinces. All right. So again, that's your earthquake prone areas map. Ayan. So I hope, sige, balikan lang natin para at least ma-refresh kayo. So top 10 provinces again, sa Mindanao, we have Surigao del Sur, Davao Oriental. The rest are in Luzon, La Union, Benguet, Pangasinan, Pampanga, Tarlac, Ifugao, Nueva Vizcaya, and Nueva Ecija. So baka ano yan, baka probinsya yan ng mga parents ninyo or mga relatives ninyo. So nakakamiss mag-travel, no? Mamaya, magkakaroon tayo ng virtual tour. Pero kung mapapansin nyo rin mga ka-ELS, Sir, Shooter Tony, Shooter Juice, bakit wala sa Visayas? So, ibig sabihin ba safe sa Visayas? No. So, as you can see sa isang map, ayan. So, they are still being hit by earthquakes. Hindi nga lang ganun kalakasan, but still, they have to be prepared and they have to be aware din sa mga pwedeng mangyari when earthquakes hit their respective provinces or places. Ayan. So, paghahanda talaga ang key. We also have the top 10 provinces that are at risk of volcanic eruptions. Ayan, yung mamaya, yung virtual tour natin. Number 1, Camiguin. Asan ba yung Camiguin? Familiar ba kayo sa Camiguin class or mga ka-ELS? Camiguin is right here in Mindanao. A very small island lang yan. Very small island. The rest, ayan, nasa gilid. Ayan. The provinces of, Biliran, Albay, we have Bataan, Sorsogon, South Cotabato, Laguna, Camarines Sur, and sa Batanes, mamaya makita niyo sa mapa, Batanes, and number 2 natin, Sulu. May mga active volcanoes pala doon. Grabe. So, bakit number 1 ang Camiguin? Kasi it is the highest risk because the land area is very small lang. So, the smaller the area, mas mataas talaga ang risk sa mga hazards and damages. Sulu ranks second naman because it has the greatest number of active and dangerous volcanoes. Let's take a look at this map. Distribution of volcanoes naman to class. So the red ones pertain to the active, yung triangle na red dyan. Active volcanoes, the blue are the inactive. Kasi medyo peach dyan is the potentially active. As you can see, ayan nga, yung Batanes region, no, may mga active volcanoes pala dyan. Of course, in Luzon, hindi pwedeng mawala. And of course, in Albay, sa Bicolandia, yan daw sa mga taga-Bicol dyan. The most active volcano is the Mount Mayon or the Mayon volcano. Sa Negros, meron din sila dyan, Mount Canlaon. And of course, our Camiguin, yung Mount Hibok-Hibok, and of course, in Sulu, ayan, sa Mindanao part. Okay, this map naman, next natin would be, ayan, so ito lang, madali naman din aralin. Risk to volcanic eruptions. Ayan, so the darker, mas mataas yung risk natin. So high, medium, low, and then no risk. Itong red na to, siya lang takilagay yung red na red sa Albay in Mount because of the Mount Mayon nga, the Mayon volcano. And of course, the Sulu right here. Ayan, I hope you are all learning sa ating mga hazard maps na yan. Let's take a quick break. Siguro mga 3 minutes lang to, no? Let's have a quick virtual tour lang, mabilis. Camiguin. So, na-curious kasi ako before sa Camiguin. So, ano ba yung kayang i-offer ng Camiguin? A very small island, pero napakagandang lugar. One of the paradise here in the Philippines. So, ito ba yung i-expect natin sa sa Camiguin? Just 92 square miles. Tagline niya, makita niyo sa Facebook saka sa YouTube. It is called the Island Born of Fire. Kasi nga, it was formed because of the volcanic activities. And ang originally, Camiguin, ang alam ko lang sa Camiguin is the Lanzones. Yung Lanzones Festival. So, surprisingly, ang dami palang magagandang lugar. Like the Sunken Cemetery, you have the White Island. You can see that on the video later on. The Mount Hibok-Hibok, Nagkatibawasan Falls, and the giant clams in Kibila White Beach. Ayan, so meron silang sanctuary dyan for the giant clams kasi nga these species of clams are listed as vulnerable species. Ibig sabihin, pwede sila maging endangered. So the people right there are preserving them by culturing them, kinukulture or inaalagaan sila sa specific place, sa sanctuary, sa village ng Kanta. Ayan, so let's have a quick tour lang of our Camiguin. I hope this video plays well. And so this video is made possible by Tourism Philippines. That's the White Island. Yan. So pwede kang kumukuha ng sea urchin, and nag-harvest sila dyan. Of course, sand. Surprisingly, may mga rice fields pala sila dyan, di ba? Very small island. Of course, they have several falls like the Tuwasan Falls. Napaka-Instagram worthy na places. Ayan, sarap magtampisaw. The Mantigay Island, one of the famous island right there sa Camiguin. Ayan, sinasabi ni Sir kanina na Giant Clam Sanctuary. The Camiguin Zipline, ayan. And the Agis Aqua Sports sa mga mahilig sa adventure. Ayan, of course, syempre mga lugar, they also boast of their native food and delicacies. Pampasalubong, ayan. Of course, the lanzones, and other native delicacies and ulams. Yan, mga seafood syempre kasi malapit sila sa no? Sa bodies of water. We also have the Katibawasan Falls. Yan, yung finiture natin kanina. 250 feet yan ang taas niya. Average 250 feet. And surrounded siya ng different kinds of ferns and other tropical trees. And of course, you also get to have the site of our Mount Hibok-Hibok and other na katabi niyang mga bundok tsaka bulkan. Ayan, sa mga mahilig mountain climbing, ayan. Ayan, pag na-reach nyo yung summit or yung top, ganyan yung view. Hindi ko pa yung naranasan. Pero soon, sana. Ayan, so ang ganda, no? Parang napaka-alagang-alaga yung place. Very green. So, napaka-presko ng hangin talaga dyan. So, from time to time, nakaka-relax. Ayan, Santo Niño Cold Spring. So, they have Cold Spring, the Ardent Spring, soda water swimming pool. Soda water, ang linaw, no? Grabe. And of course, they're famous with their Lanzones Festival. Hindi ako mahilig sa Lanzones. Yung asawa ko lang. Favorite niya yan. Dahil laging bumibili. Lanzones Festival, White Island. I think that's, ayan, malapit na. Tapos, ayan, daming coconuts, oh. And of course, the Sunken Cemetery, no? Na pinalubog because of the eruption of the volcanoes in the past. That's it, Camiguin. So, ang tagline nga nila, naalala ko, no? Come again in Camiguin. Ayan, Camiguin. So, the video is courtesy of Turismo Filipino. Ayan, you can visit their website. It's a travel agency based on Makati. So, you can visit their FB page, Turismo Filipino, Tourismo Filipino, Filipino. So, thank you very much po sa pagpapahiram sa ating mga ka-ELS ng mga video na yan. Ayan, so let's proceed or continue our discussion. This time naman, top 10 provinces that are at risk to landslide. So we have Marinduque, Benguet, Rizal, Cebu, La Union, Southern Leyte, Nueva Vizcaya, Batangas, Mountain Province. Oops. Si Maring Jess ay nagpakita. Nag-play siya automatically. Sorry po. Ayan. Alright, so mostly ang mga provinces natin na naglalay or nakalocate sa Cordillera Administrative Region ay included sa ating top 10 landslide prone areas in the Philippines. Kasi nga, nandun yung mga location natin ng mountain ranges. Plus, since we are prone sa mga typhoons, diba, dinadaanan tayo lagi ng mga bagyo. So it can be a contributing factor bakit lumalambot ang mga lupa doon. So let's take a look at this map. So earthquake-induced shallow landslides. So earthquakes can trigger landslides, of course. As you can see, ayan, no, the darker the color, the more dangerous. Ayan, nakakalungkot, no? So, maraming areas, pulang-pula sa Pilipinas. So, we are prone talaga sa mga landslide. That's why we need to be prepared. Tutor Jules, take it away for our learning task for this week.
Okay, completion. Complete me. Read the following statement and complete them by filling in with the correct term and phrase. So, just from the following words, the active false, anthropogenic, earthquake, large, natural, Pacific ring of fire, Philippine trends or PH trends, and small. For for number one, the Philippines experiences more earthquakes and volcanic eruptions because it is located in the blank. So it is identification. You have to type the number, then your answer. So
Yes.
while I'm waiting, shoutout muna tayo. By the way,
Yes po.
hello daw po, Sir Antonio Maipa from Sir Gary Enriquez, common friend
Hi,
natin.
Sir Gary. Hello po. Thank you for watching.
Okay, and hello from Napasnek. Wow, Ilocano to.
Napasnek.
Humsog Napasnek, watching from Jones Rural School main subject teacher, Ma'am Ivy Gabehan. Si
Yeah, Ma'am Ivy,
Elentric,
good
Kalamasa,
afternoon.
Damasco. Hello, Ma'am Ivy. And from Tumawini National High School teacher, ELS teacher, Ma'am Joanne Magallanes, from Dayan Madayag of grade 12 Pearl. Okay, number 1, meron na ba tayo? Okay, for
We
number
have
1,
answered.
meron
Reveal na po.
number 2, number 3. Okay,
Meron ka
specific
pala.
ring of fire. Oh, yes po, ang bilis nila.
Ayan, bilis.
Markel, you're
Ang
right.
nakinig.
Kabasal, Pacific Ring of Fire. You're right. Bayer, Napoles, Olesco, Corpus. Okay, next. Number 2 na-reveal na rin. Number 2 is natural.
Natural. Yes.
Nakalagay na po. Nauna na sila, sir. Baka number 3 na sila. And then
Oo nga.
Legazpi, natural. Bayer, Serrano, Idong, Patigayon, okay, very good. Lahat, puro tama. And then number 3, na-reveal na rin si Rio del Sur and Davao del Norte are at risk to hazard due to PH
Philippines.
trends or Philippine trends and active fault. So,
Yan,
number 2, dalawa
mahusay.
yan. Okay, so you're right. Ang bilis din. Shikina, you're right. Then, number 4 na sila. Number 3, Mendoza. And number 4, wait lang sir ha, Camiguin has the
Ay,
highest range of effects of volcanic eruption because the land area is too small. Napoles,
yun.
Bayer, Chavez. Okay, very good. And the last, the man-made hazard is classified as nauna na?
Anthropogenic.
Okay.
Anthropogenic.
Anthropogenic. Okay, so that's the last part.
Thank you so much, Tutor Jules. No?
Ayun,
Uh,
humahabol pa po sila. Nandito pa po yung iba
yan.
ngayon. Number 4 pa rin yung
Okay.
iba. Number 5, but the same answer. Very good.
Habang humahabol, no, sa ano lang natin, promote lang natin yung mga websites ng ating government agencies. No? If you want to study further, you can visit www.phibox.dost.gov.ph. You can proceed sa mga downloadable hazard maps. Ayan, provided ng Phibox. And of course, as part of our Tutor Jules, no, October 24 kasi up to 31 this year, we are celebrating the Global Media and Information Literacy Week with the theme Media and Information Literacy for the Public Good. So we are reminding our mga ka-ELS students no na laging maging mapanuri sa mga sinishare, mga binabasa natin na information. And just like last week, ayan, so medyo na-challenge, na-test ang inyong science process skills, ang inyong research skills. So we ask you, why can't we find dinosaur fossils in the Philippines? And surprisingly, Tutor Jules, ang daming nag-PM sa ating page. Nakakatuwa. So remind lang natin ng mga ka-ELS, mga senior high school students, next time, no, so siguro sa next week, no, kapag gusto nyo sumagot, make sure lang na you don't copy-paste the answer from the internet. So we understand na ang pinaka-accessible talaga na means would be the website, mga websites natin na available. Pero after reading it, make sure na i-translate nyo siya on how you understood it. So magagamit nyo yung skill na yan kapag kayo ay nag-practical research. And of
Don't
course,
forget.
in researching then Tutor Jules, no, very important na i-take down note ninyo or i-mention ninyo, i-cite ninyo ang inyong mga references. So to answer
Proper
our question,
citation, mga anak. Don't forget
oo,
in your practical research 1, proper citation.
Yes. So to answer our question no, last week, no, so why can't we find dinosaur fossils in the Philippines? Simply because nung na-form or nag-exist yung mga dinosaurs, mga ka-ELS, wala pa po ang Pilipinas. Kumbaga, nasa ilalim pa siya. Kumbaga, hindi pa siya nag-rise. Alright? So may certain time lang na nag-rise ang ating bansa. That's why we can find dinosaur fossils. Although may mga primitive na mga animal fossils na nakita sa ating bansa. Alright? So again, that's hashtag Global MIL Week, hashtag Itulay MIL Week. So ayan. So make sure lang na remind natin sila mga ka-ELS na maging mapanuri sa mga isasagot nyo sa amin no, or isi-share ninyo online. Let's proceed with the discussion now of our second MELP, the human activities that trigger landslides. So kanina may mga pahapyaw na tayong discussion about landslide. So landslide, as to define landslide, it is an occurrence in which soil, rocks, and vegetal debris, or debris, when you say vegetal, pertains to the plants in the region or in place. They are being transported suddenly or slowly down a slope due to insufficient stability. So ibig sabihin, hindi na siya stable, kailangan niya ng sumabay sa agos, kailangan niya nang mag-let go. Ayan. So parang mga puso ninyo, minsan, di ba, napapagod na, kailangan na nating i-let go. Okay, hashtag hugot. Ayan, so ginagawa ko lang joke lang para at least maging light naman ang ating discussion. Kasi medyo, medyo nakakalungkot yung nakikita natin, makikita
Yes,
natin mga pictures.
nakakalungkot.
Oo. So, pero ito talaga yung reality, realidad ng buhay. So, ayan. So, I think this one is an Itogot Benguet, no, Tutor Jules. Last 2018, maraming casualties tayo dyan because of
At ang
landslide.
nakakasad, sir, usually pag nasa abroad, yan yung mga pinapakita. Philippines, so yan,
Oo.
normal yung
Mga
pinapakita sa
Asian countries na prone talaga sa landslide. So landslide, no, another information, it can be a result from the failure of the materials to make up the hill slope and get driven by the force of gravity. Remember our concept about mass wasting. And another trivia, landslide is also known as landslips, slumps, or slope failure. So pwede nyo mabasa yan sa mga other references. It also pertains to landslide. So right now, let's enumerate the different activities that can speed up or trigger landslides. So the first one, unang-una sa listahan natin, overloading slopes. So pag sinabi nating slope, no, sa math, parang pag ganyan yan, mga slope, or yung mga, kung paano ba, gaano katarik yung isang place, usually yung mga mountainous areas natin yan. So kapag yan ay na-overload, ibig sabihin, yan, tulad na nakita nyo sa picture, hindi siya well-planned or well-designed, or baka talaga sobrang lumambot na yung foundation ng soil because of different factors, magti-trigger talaga yan or magkukos ng landslide.
So, na wag nang magpatayo ng bahay dyan.
Oo nga. Although, na-experience ko rin yan, Tutor Joel, sa province, sa Samar, tsaka sa Albay. So, maganda sana yung view, no? Kasi pag gising mo sa umaga, nasa bundok po kasi yung mga relatives namin doon. So, ang ganda ng view, kita mo yung mayon. Tapos minsan naman sa island ng Samar, kita mo kaagad yung yung dagat pag gising mo sa umaga. Pero, of course, may role kasi dyan yung mga geodetic engineers natin, no? So, pwede kayo maging geodetic engineer, pwede kayo mag-contribute sa society natin. So, sana maging well-planned yung mga roads natin at saka other constructions. Another human activity would be mining. Of course, we all know that mining uses explosives. Nakakapagpalambot yan ng lupa. We also have excavation, mga paghuhukay or displacement of rocks. Siyempre, kapag dinisplace mo na yung mga stable na sila doon sa lugar na yun, kumbaga pinatibay na yun ng panahon, tapos ginalaw mo siya or ginalaw niya ng tao, it can trigger landslide as well. Next one would be the land use, such as modification of slopes by construction of roads, railways, buildings, ayan, mga houses, kino-convert mga areas natin, no, into subdivisions or minsan ginagawang taniman or other establishments.
Ayan,
Of course,
bago naman, by the way, bago makapagpatayo ng building, may mga naman yan program.
may
Meron
mga
siyang
permit,
zoning, tapos
permit,
permit.
opo.
Pero bakit nakakapagpatayo pa rin na dangerous, yung area na yun ay napakadelikado? So,
Siguro po hindi pa rin siguro informed din or hindi pa na-assess. Kasi ina-assess po yan, di ba? Yung
yes po.
geodetics niya.
Building,
Ng
may building
specific
permit po
state.
yan.
Oo. Nakakalungkot. Minsan, Kasi politics na po yun, no? It's beyond our topic. Hirap magsabi.
Ah, nandyan yung law, pero the
Oo, may
implementation,
mga
okay,
laws. So,
medyo ano tayo,
implementation.
dito na tayo sa quarrying, sir.
Quarrying na
The
tayo sa
implementation of
Rizal.
the law.
Ayan. Ayan yung first picture natin mga ka-LS. That is in Rizal, no? So, quarrying, of course, ginagamit. Kumukuha tayo ng pang-construction materials and tinatapyas-tapyas natin unti-unti hanggang eventually ganyan na magiging itsura niya. And of course, land pollution. Yung second picture naman, ayan, this picture is in Baguio, yung landfill po nila doon, Sugar Juice. So nakakalungkot naman dito, naging polluted, so hindi na kinaya ng quality ng soil. So pwede din pala maging factor yun, no? Kapag na-pollute ang land, it can also trigger yung mga minerals doon and
Landslide.
other factors, no? Pwede yung magpag-trigger talaga ng landslide. Ayan. And of course, we also have excavation dito sa Metro Manila, no? Maayos naman ang roads, minsan sinisira. Hindi natin alam, pero ni-research ko talaga yan ng Tutor Jules. Ang sabi nila, in-interview ko yung mga from may specific year pala talaga din. Parang after 5 years or 10 years, kailangan pala talagang i-define siya para palitan ng bago. So parang well, the main objective is to strengthen the road or to widen the road. Ayan. So that's excavation. And finally, cutting of trees. Ayan, very important. Kasi ang mga trees, tawag dito, aside from providing us with oxygen, so sila yung kumakapit di ba? Kumakapit sa lupa yung mga soil nila. So very important na of course mapaalagaan ang ating mga trees. And here are some of the precautionary measures that we can observe, no? So I'll be posting this one on our ELS page with Tutor Tony and Tutor Jules. So bilisan lang natin yung mga keywords na lang siguro. Stay alert and awake. Ayan. Consider living if it is safe to do so. Wag nang manghinayang kasi dapat pahalagaan pa rin. Number one na priority natin would be our safety and of course in our life ating mga buhay. Next, listen for any unusual sounds. And usually Tutor Jules, no, lagi namang may mga local government nag-a-announce naman sila na if there's a need to evacuate or evacuate, ayan, so be alert kapag may mga sudden sound, sudden movement, kapag nagda-drive kayo, you also have to be alert kung kailangan mag-stop or maghanap ng mas safe na place, do that. And finally, be aware that strong shaking from earthquakes can induce or intensify the effects of landslide. Kasi magkadikit yan pag yanig ng lupa, mga earthquakes, of course, it can trigger landslides, as we have discussed. And now we'll be sharing, coming down to Tutor Juice, we'll be sharing two apps. The first one is the Hazard Hunter PH. And you can try that sa cellphone ninyo. Pwede siyang website sa hazardhunter.gris.gov.ph or pwede rin siya sa ating mga cellphones, the mobile app. So pwede yan, very useful app, Tutor Jules, to assist. Pwede yan gamitin ng kapag bibili ka ng properties. Ayan, sa mga land developers. Ayan, pinondohan talaga yan ng government agency natin. Of course, to help our kabataan, our youth na ma-appreciate yung pag-identify ng mga ganitong klase ng hazard. So you just go to the website, tapos ita-type nyo lang yung nyo doon, yung location ninyo. Tapos after
Yung address.
Yung address. Yes, after that, click nyo lang and then type nyo yung location or yung address po ninyo and then sa right panel, you can see different assessment. So may seismic hazard, so earthquake, volcanic hazard, we also have hydrometeorological, real-time po yan real-time. You can use that kapag may mga banta tayo ng typhoons. Ayan. I tried it, ayan, sa location namin dito sa Caloocan. So, nearest active fault sa amin would be the Valley Fault. Ground shaking, we are prone, lalo na kapag mataas yung intensity. We are safe naman sa earthquake-induced landslide, liquefaction, and tsunami because of course of our location. Sa volcanic hazard, it will tell you also kung ano yung pinakamalapit na volcano. Sa amin, ang Taal ang pinakamalapit. We are safe naman with the other volcanic hazards. And maganda dito, Tutor Jules, you can download the soft copy of the report plus the recommendation. Another app that they can use, mga ka-ELS. Ayan. So may mga viewers tayo sa provinces, di ba? You can also use the Project NOAA app website, pwede yan, via noaa.up.edu.ph. So project yan, tie-up ng University of the Philippines, DOST, tsaka yung Resilience Institute nila to educate, di ba? And to assist the country in disaster risk reduction and management, climate change adaptation, and mitigation efforts. And of course, from year to year, research pa rin talaga yung foundation. Our scientists, our experts are non-stop yan nagre-research to help us, the different communities. And ito na, ready na po mga ka-ILS, screenshot na ito. And I will be also posting this one on our page. Our question of the week. Tutor Jules, pakibasa po our question of the week.
Okay, why is Palawan, the largest island province in the Philippines, considered the most stable island in the country?
Oo, kasi if you will notice no, sa mga maps natin kanina, it is said to be parang earthquake proof. Although may mga dots may mga recorded history pa rin siya. Pero bakit tinawag ang Palawan the largest island, the most stable island in the country? So again, we're inviting our ALS students to send their answers via PM. Alam nyo na gagawin ha? I-rephrase, gawing sarili talaga, and then make sure to cite
Proper
your reference.
citation, mga anak.
Ito la ELS with Tutor Tony and Tutor Jules. And finally, our assessment.
So,
Go,
what
take it
makes
away.
railway and building construction a possible cause of a landslide? A. Slope excavation. B. Use of heavy equipment. C. Lack of personal safety gears. And D. Poor sanitation among workers. So, type your answer, number, and the letter. And hello to Concepcion National High School Division of Leyte, teacher Sir Rafael N. Radores. Hello sir, marami kang estudyante dito from Mark Junry Napales. Good afternoon, hello. And the
Sumagot na
answer
po ba,
is
Tutor
letter,
Jules?
meron na po, it's letter
Ayan, the best answer
A.
is letter A.
Yes. You're right, Salarda, Marana, Napoles, Frias, Alvarez, lahat po hanggang dulo, Evangelista, Hapor, lahat po. Correct.
Maraming
Number 2.
salamat sa pagsagot. Number
Very
2.
good. What should be your initial reaction when there is a landslide? Initial reaction. A. Scream loudly. B. Move away from the slope. C. Call the emergency hotline. D. Take a picture and post it online. Wow. Parang ano lang to nung pag drill, anong gagawin ng mga estudyante? Wow, makeup muna, no? Tapos selfie.
Mali
Ito,
yun.
your initial reaction when there is a landslide. O, ano yan? So, number 2
be
tayo. The answer is Adrian. It's letter B, Cipriano, Katap, Alvarez, Chavez, Bayer, Mercado, lahat sila. It's letter B. Very good, mga anak.
Tama, very good.
And then
Move
the last
away from
one.
the slope. That's our initial reaction dapat. Number 3.
How can a community avoid the occurrence of landslide in the future? A. Avoid creating loud noises. B. Call the emergency hotline. C. Plant more trees in the slope. D. Construct more buildings. Parang ang dali-dali ngayon ng lesson natin. Pero in real situation, sana magamit ninyo yung mga process. Yes. Yung mga nalaman ninyo na mga concepts.
And the best
Okay,
answer for number 3 is?
Balubar, C. Frias, C. Estela, C. De Guzman, Collado. The correct answer is C.
Letter
Right.
C. Plant more trees in the slope.
Trees.
And of course, our session will not be complete without our hashtag Be Inspired and hashtag Be Blessed. Dagdagan natin hashtag Be Prepared. According to Petra Nemkova, she's from Czech Republic, we cannot stop natural disasters, but we can arm ourselves with knowledge so many lives wouldn't have to be lost if there was enough disaster preparedness. Ayan. So, Tutor Jules, remind lang din natin sila to support our other subjects. Plus, we'll be taking a break next week, no? November 1, natapat kasi November 1. So, November 1 to November 5, medyo chillax muna tayo. Wala muna tayong itulay session. Balik tayo November 8, Tutor Jules. Ayan. So, for our...
Sir, advantage po ba, sir, yung mga sumasagot ng iyong question? Meron po ba tayong awarding next session?
Yes po, yun pala, yung final natin. So, thank you for reminding, Tutor Jules, no? So, ang ating final week, ayan, nare-recognize natin, to-celebrate natin ang inyong mga achievements, ayan, online. So, samahan nyo kami.
Tapos na tayo ng first quarter.
First quarter, nakaraos tayo, no? So, tinyurl.com, /itulay feedback form. Once again, we would like to say thank you sa lahat ng mga teachers, estudyante, mga ka-ELS at mga schools na patuloy na sumusuporta sa amin. Once again, this is Tutor Tony.
And Tutor Juice.
Ayan, abangan. Next na po, MIL, Media Information Literacy and General Biology 1. We'll see you on next Monday, November 8. Yan po. So bye. God bless po sa lahat.